Welcome to the Boggan Minute, or so. On November 6, 2015, Ben Carson, for whatever ridiculous reason, considering the years of propaganda and trick interviews, did an interview on CNN with some female reporter whose name is irrelevant since she'll disappear in obscurity like most modern CNN personalities, or being known in as many houses as there are people who know composer Vangelis' full name offhand. Prior to that, the left-wing media news complex bizarrely ordained something Carson said about his youth as news. Carson, the soft-spoken and well-known neurosurgeon, told a story about how in his past youth he used to be angry and physically combative. He even gave first names of people he wronged. For most normal people, that would be enough, since it's clear as day Carson has grown into a thoughtful and accomplished man. The intimate details of some pivot points don't need to be discussed. Sometimes the end results speak for themselves. Not so was it, however, for this interchangeable administration mouthpiece CNN anchorette. She went on to tell him their investigation couldn't turn up those people Carson said he had assaulted. They pressed him for more details on these victims. He declined, not wanting them to, and rightfully so, be hounded by the left-wing media news complex. When Obama said in one of his autobiographies he was mentored by a communist named Frank Marshall Davis, later excised from new copies, and even said Frank's full name when telling the story during some kind of conference, recently reported, where was the media? Oh, that's right, reporting the Dan Rather lies about George W. Bush. And where were they with an investigation into Davis during Obama's first campaign run? Well, that leads me to the point I have been recapping to. And it is a point that, even about 7 years of a soft tyranny into, for some baffling reason Republicans like Ben Carson still don't get. I want to refresh your minds on progressive Mitt Romney and his 2008 presidential run. Of all the stories they told about him, I think two are key in driving my point home. The first was a woman who died of cancer they claimed Romney was responsible for the illness and death of. Almost every single piece of information in their stories was an utter lie. About the only things they got right were her former occupation, sex, and death. Literally, it was nearly all made up. But that didn't stop them from vilifying Mitt as a heartless bastard who caused a woman's death. And yet, there he was, trying to answer the claims. The second was the infamous forced haircut. To sum it up, Romney said in a book of his that back during his higher education, he and some classmates held down a male student with hair length that probably drove him as mad every week when new episodes of MacGyver aired, and Mitt used a pair of scissors and then forced a haircut on the guy. Apparently, self-admitting an assault wasn't enough to get the media to wet themselves with excitement, so they launched an investigation into it. Long story short, the guy died young and nobody, including his family, could verify the follicle assault even happened. And once again, there was Mitt on offense. What can these stories about Romney teach Mr. Carson? It's as plain as day to me. Simply put, the media doesn't give one fuck about the truth or what you have to say about their claims. It doesn't matter if some story about your youth that you told is true or false. You're a Republican and must be destroyed. It doesn't matter if you forced a haircut on some guy or if you beat up people, again, in your younger days. Only the fictional narrative and lies matter. Republicans must be made to look like evil people who not only want to give dog food to old people and push them off cliffs, but also beat them up and kill them. The interviews aren't wanting to clarify the truth or set the record straight. They are to cram down the talking points, claim you're lying, and hope you say something either stupid or which can be taken out of context. Carson should consider himself lucky. Right now, they're only saying they can't prove it. Tomorrow, they might say they can, and that Ben is too violent to be in office. And next week, it may be Carson let somebody die of cancer. I guess no one at CNN had a troubled youth and grew up. All those white people at CNN. The Boggan Minute, or so, is written, directed, produced, and composed by... Oh, that's me. What do you know?